Now, science activists are calling on government to urgently intervene over the high E. coli and other pollutants in Durban's rivers. They've been monitoring the water quality of Umgeni and Umbilo rivers. Umbilo River flows from Kloof, a town about 26 kilometers from Durban, through various communities and into the Durban harbour. Some businesses operating near the rivers are not able fully function due to the contaminated water. Organizations adopt a river and water can want government to fix eThekwini's sewage infrastructure crisis. Let's talk more about this now with Dr. Ferrial Adam, Executive Manager for Watercan. Good afternoon, Doc. Welcome to Today here on eNCA. First up, how bad is the situation of E. coli pollution in and around Durban?
Good afternoon. It's not only Durban, it's nationwide, I would say, that we have an extreme challenge with the high levels of E. coli in our rivers and streams. So it's no surprise that people are getting ill when they, if they live close to rivers that are polluted, or they're playing or swimming in rivers that are polluted. So it should be a bigger concern than what we are seeing right now being placed on it by government.
What's causing it?
So there's most of the pollution from sewage at the moment in our waters, in our rivers, streams, dams, oceans, is because of infrastructure failure. And, some people have dubbed local government as the biggest polluter of our water right now. So you've got pump stations that are not working, you've got wastewater treatment plants that are not working, and all of that is, you've got manholes that are overflowing, you have got local governments that have not spent enough money on maintenance of infrastructure, on taking care of leaks, and this is all causing and making the problem worse.
Yeah, you are raising the alarm and calling government, you're calling for national intervention. What would that look like?
I think what we are saying is that, we've worked with people across the country, from Cape Town, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KZN, and everywhere where we've had people using our testing kits and testing water, we found levels of E. coli. But local government is not doing anything, and no one is holding local government accountable. What we are saying is that there's two things. One is, we need to make sure that people on the ground pressurize and actually make their voices heard and push governments to actually act. So local governments must be held accountable. And we are saying, as the national department, the department that has oversight, they need to also hold these municipalities accountable. And I think for the last year, with the new minister and the new DG, there is some move to make that happen.
That's under Senzo Mkhunu's department. We'll see if he survives that position with the reshuffle that's coming up. If you think,
I really hope he stays in water.
Well, let's hope Matamela Sil Ramaphosa is listening to your plea there to keep Senzo Mkhunu in the water and sanitation department because of that progress. But on a very important note, E. coli pollution, the contamination that we're seeing in our waters, as you said, it's not only confined to Durban rivers, but as you said, it's a national problem in different areas of the country. Therefore, it requires a national effort.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you look at, we look at city of Joburg, and one would think that we don't have the problem, but even in the city of Joburg, we know that the city of Joburg was issued a directive from the Department of Water and Sanitation for some of their pump stations spewing out, or wastewater treatment plants that were spewing out sewage into the rivers. So a directive basically is, national department says, you've got this amount of time to make sure that you're going to solve this problem, or at least give us a plan to say that you will solve it. And that has not happened. We will be following up specifically on that issue in terms of City of Joburg. We also know that, and we'll be going to this on the 14th of March, which is International Day of Action for Rivers, where we're going to highlight the level of E. coli along the Uxke River in the Gauteng region. So those are just here, but even Cape Town. Yeah. We know that, there was a big thing about KZN beaches had to be closed in December, but 10 beaches were closed in Cape Town. So they're also having challenges with E. coli in their water.
Yeah, so Dr. Adam, as we conclude, would you agree with my summation of what you've just told us this afternoon, that South Africa is facing an E. coli crisis?
It is definitely facing an E. coli crisis. And if I can add one more thing, I mean, I think that we are, you know, when we say we've got 6 cases of cholera, and of course, I'm not saying it's from tap water, but given the state of our pollution in our rivers and streams, I'm surprised that it's taken, you know, that it's just 6, because there's E. coli, you're going to have cholera, and there's also a possibility of hepatitis illness. So, you know, this all affects our health. It also affects our food supply. So small farmers who use those rivers to water their gardens and their vegetables are going to be eating polluted food. So it has a direct link to everything we do. So it's definitely a national issue and needs an urgent attention.
Bigger than just the rivers in and around Durban. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Ferrial Adam, Executive Manager for Watercan. She says, South Africa, you have another crisis on your hands currently. It's the E. coli crisis. It's bigger than what we've been reported around the Durban rivers, Durban beaches, and also Cape Town beaches. Here in Gauteng as well, let's be wary.